Alright, this is game 4 I'm doing for Eric. I'm actually glad it's like 2 in the morning, but I'm glad to be doing these because I can't. I'm having insomnia, and if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be playing Risk on Facebook or something like that. So this gives me a way to serve. Hopefully, this will be useful to both Eric and other viewers. This is another correspondence game on chess.com. White plays kind of unusual in the opening. He starts with d3. Eric plays d5, bishop f4, c5, bishop b8, rook b8. I think it's fair to say that Black's doing pretty well for himself. He's got a space advantage, yeah, I mean, I guess you can't really say his rook is developed, but I'd rather be Black in this situation. Knight c3, e6 was played. Again, when in doubt between a pawn move that blocks one of the bishops or a knight move, I'd say here knight f6 is the better move. And keep in mind also that this pawn doesn't even need to be defended, but knight f6 is just probably the better move anyway. And eventually you might play d6 and put the bishop here, but it's always good to have options, to retain options, put the bishop here later. But I mean, e6 is far from a bad move. e6 was played, e4 was played, and then Eric played d4, which I gave an exclamation point myself, and you know, the knight has got very limited options. He's basically, he has to go back. But in this game, he doesn't go back. He plays knight b5, and here Eric misses a nice tactical shot, queen a5, and the knight is lost. The knight can't come back here to defend because it'll just get took. So, but instead of that, a6 was played, and the knight jumps back. So Black is still doing well, but having a piece is just a great way to start the game. It's going to be a long fight now. Knight h6 was played. Knight f6 is just stronger. I mean, even here, Black has still got a slight advantage, but knight f6 was more accurate. Knight c4 was played. Bishop d7. a4. Bishop c6. I'm not crazy about bishop c6. Probably better to develop the last bishop and get castled, moving the same piece twice, and in the ends, this piece just ends up getting traded off. So he kind of moves the same piece a few too many times. But queen f3 was played. b5, a takes b, a takes b, knight e5. So now the knight's hitting the bishop and threatening mate. Oh, actually no, he's not, because the knight here protects this f pawn. Queen protects the bishop, knight takes, queen takes. So, you know, this dark square bishop is still at home. Now the game's about even. g3, rook to b6. Again, better just to get the last piece out. Bishop e7. Knight e2. White's position is still pretty cramped looking though. Rook a6. Actually, Fritz likes this the best, which is, I guess, not looking at the position, it's understandable, because it's forcing White to either trade, giving Black checking options, maybe some tactics, maybe win a pawn or two, or he's got to get out the way, and he gets out the way. Now Fritz likes, oh yeah, now just yeah, bring the bishop out. Even d6 is an option. D6 or e7, they're both pretty good. Queen a8 was played, which is understandable, creating a battery on the open a file. Bishop h3. Yeah, the bishop's got to go somewhere. Bishop e7, White castles, and now Black doesn't castle yet. He plays bishop g5. Oh, hitting the rook. rook b1. Now black castles. Bishop g4. Not sure where the bishop's going, but probably knight takes g4 is pretty good. F5. F5 is okay. I mean, it's not a blunder or anything. Now here, white goes kamikaze and plays bishop takes, sacking a piece. Rook takes. It's important to keep in mind. E takes F is probably the best move. It's always important to keep in mind rook takes is actually also playable because this pawn can't take because it's pinned. But E takes was played. Queen H5. Probably bring the bishop back is best, but rook G6. Rook G6 is actually a fine move on the same file as the king is always good. King H1. King moves out of the way, but now white kind of misses a chance here. The queen moves right onto the diagonal. Excuse me, the king moves right on the diagonal of the queen. Possible would have been F takes, and if D takes, it's not looking good for. I went through those moves kind of fast, but there's all sorts of threats. There's a threat on the knight. This blocks the queen's protection of the knight. If, for example, the rook comes over to defend, rook H6 is coming. There's going to be all sorts of. The queen's got no moves actually. The queen just can't move. He may be the best to take the rook, although Fritz likes knight discovering an attack on black's queen, but then black can just come up here, and now white's queen's really got nowhere to go. And in fact, the only move that doesn't lead to mate here is this, taking the undefended bishop. Oh wait, no, actually it does lead to mate. Bam, bam, bam. So why did Fritz say that doesn't? Oh, queen takes g4 is the only move that doesn't lead to. Is the only move that doesn't lead to mate. But it's losing the queen, and I'm sure it's going to lead to mate eventually. But anyway, where were we? Oh, king moves here. Rook f7 was played. Rook a1, rook a7, controlling the open file. But again, at any point here, f takes e would have been possible. Rook a b1, c4, f takes e4 is still possible. c4 though. Knight takes d4. F4, even here, oh wait, no, excuse me, not F4, but F takes E. Even here, after C takes D, F takes, and if D takes, similar things are going to happen to white, not good things. And F4 kind of gave up that possibility. Now the center's locked, and the king, even though it's still perilous here, and this pawn can't move, it's not as dangerous. Knight takes B5, rook A4. G takes F, bishop takes F. I'm just gunning through this kind of fast. Just now king F8, queen takes A8. Probably queen takes queen would have been better here, but black still got a slight advantage. Rook G1, rook A6. Something to keep in mind. Knight G4 would have been a possibility, threatening mate here, just giving white some problems to think about. F3, rook a c6, knight d4, rook c f6. I'm just going to gun through these moves kind of quick. Here, looks like white missed a good move with rook takes g1, new variation. Let's see, why is that good? It's good because both moves are about equal, and now, oh, because of this, right? And okay, so and if rook takes, then bishop here. So yeah, just a little tactical thing to notice. Now where were we? Now let's see, why couldn't have been played here? Rook a. Oh, because it's white's move. Yeah, rook takes g1 would have been a great move. The reason this bishop move can't be played now is because white will then exchange rooks. But rook g5, rook takes, bishop takes, king over, bishop e3, knight e2, rook over, rook a8, king f7, king to f1, excuse me, c takes d3, c takes d3, king over here, threat with threats if the knight moves, well, except to that spot. Rook over here, check. Just gonna gun through this kind of quick in the interest of time. Black's still doing well for himself. Black's still got an advantage. Yeah, now here comes actually knight d4 was a big blunder here because of this move, which would have just totally won the game, because after the king moves the knight is lost. But the threat on the rook was missed here, and actually knight e5. After this, the rook goes down, and